everyone and happy Monday. We have a new planner page to do today. Now this one I'm pretty sure is World of Flowers, and I think it is from the inside of the cover and a page quite near the front. But obviously it's not the whole page, we have a little snippet. I thought it would be a nice one to do in just lots of different colours perhaps, and I've grabbed my Staedtler Ergosofts to do this one with because there's quite a few fine details. It's not too bad, but I thought it would be easier. But what I can't believe is that when we turn the page for tomorrow, we're sort of almost on Christmas. We've got the 1st of December, we've got this sort of almost festive bed, and then we're on to proper Christmas, which is very exciting. But let's concentrate on this one. Getting a bit carried away. And I think I'm just going to move across the page colouring our florals, and starting here with this one. Now this one to me looks a little sort of thistly. I always think of that when I see these ones that Johanna's drawn. So I think we're going for some sort of, I'm going to go for purples, violets, that sort of thing. So I'm going to start with the oh, I can't pick it up, number 6, which is the, just looking on my list, violet. I think what I'm going to do is actually come in a lot closer and just hope that I remember to move the book, because if I'm that far away it's going to be a little difficult. There we go. It's still quite small, isn't it? We've only got half of it as well. But I'm going to ignore this first circle here that I feared is part of the stem, and this could be done as part of the sort of bit of greenery, which is how I am going to do it. So I'm just going to do this top piece in my violet, and I'm going to do it quite simply by making it darker here and then lighter as we go up to the tip of the petal, like this, and then the next one, and just through doing the same thing on each one. Now I wasn't sure when I first saw this page whether I wanted to do all the green the same. Sometimes it can help a page to look neater if part of it is coloured the same, but I don't think I will, so I'm just going to adjust my chair. Oh, sorry, I hit the table. My chair's got arms and the table's got a leg in the middle of it, so the chair doesn't fit under the table, but I like it to be nice and close, so I just bashed the arm against the table. Desk, whatever it is, it's a desk really. There we go. So hopefully you can see it's a little bit darker here and a bit lighter at the top, but we can always layer it a bit more. The Ergos are quite a hard pencil. They take a little bit of work. I'm just going to hold that down. I haven't coloured in my World of Flowers for quite a while. I was saying I was going to do some videos from it. I still want to. It's just having this sort of fitting it all in, because there's so many exciting things to do. You know, different authors, different books, that sort of thing, you know. I do like going back to doing Johanna Basford pictures though. It's like, you know, I know where I am with hers. Yeah, I sort of, you know, just trying to work out if that's a gap. I think it might be, and I'm going to colour that in. There we go. That's the beginnings. Now I'm thinking for our stem, I want quite a bluey green. I think it would go quite nicely with this violet. So I've actually picked 38, which is the sea green. It's very blue. And I'm going to colour these pieces in the same way as I have here, so a little darker at the bottom and lighter at the top. And all the way across and down the whole thing in the same way. I think this colour goes very well with a violet. In the same way that I think olives go very well with orange. I think they've got a similar warmth. Well, these are cold, I think, that sort of thing. Now if you want to make a bigger definition between each of these, you can use some, I would probably use black or the dark grey. I think it's just called grey actually in this set, to make it a bit darker. But I probably won't add much more. I was thinking about what to ask my husband for get me for Christmas. I was wondering whether to get the 72 set of Staedtler Design Journey pencils. I've been thinking. He's found a place that sells them. They come in a tin, which of course I'm rather fond of now, but we'll see. Now we have this very, very long stem. I want this to look similar to these, to be a bit darker at the bottom and lighter as we go up, like that. And then this is just going to be blocked in. I think it's quite thin, but this leaf is part of this stem, but I'm going to finish the stem first, which can you see? All the way down. Yeah, I think that's it there. And then there. Now this leaf is something over here which maybe we should draw in first, but that's fine. So here is our leaf, or set of leaves. So I'm going to go down the middle with a fairly intense colour, and then sort of gently reduce the layers, so by the time we get to the tip it's quite light. I'm just gonna, the heat radiator isn't on, it's really cold. I'm just gonna do up my cardigan buttons a bit, sorry. But yeah, it's a bit chilly, it's a funny day, it's raining, cloudy, so we haven't had frost like which we had yesterday, but it just feels there's a bit of a chill. But yesterday we had frost, it was sunny, so that makes quite the difference. Okay, so the same with this one, darker here and then less towards the tip. You can use lots of different colour greens to achieve this sort of look, you know, use a bit of this darker one, then maybe use a bit of the green, and then maybe even a bit of the sap green or something, but I find this works perfectly fine, and it's quicker because you're not swapping colours all the time. A bit simpler as well, and I just find it more relaxing, so works for me. Gosh, nice to sit down though and do some colouring. I've been quite busy this morning. It was we always clean on a Sunday today, recording this. We always clean on a Sunday, and boys had work to do, uni work, so and husband had an optician's appointment, so I was doing it, which was fine, and we do washing as well. But I had a lie-in, which was a big mistake, so I got really behind. We also had grocery shopping to do because we didn't get around to doing it yesterday, so there was a lot going on. It feels like it's not a flat surface behind here. Oh, it is. Might be from quite a significant few weeks ago when I used some stickles. I can hear the rain on the window. It's big splats. But yeah, luckily I did pop out when no one went grocery shopping. I walked, and my husband met me and picked me up because he was at the optician, as I said. I've got this teeny bit here in this leaf, which we're going to do next. This teeny bit, I mean, I just grab a colour, doesn't really matter. I'm going to grab 61, needs sharpening. '61 is our dark mauve, apparently. Don't know. I mean, this might even be a leaf, for all I know. I always wonder whether I'd be better off getting the book out and checking, but I don't mind. doing it and get a bit of guesswork. So I'm going to grab 52 now. This is our sap green. This stem sort of bit, and I'm also going to use it for a bit of the leaves. I'm going to use the second colour on these, why not? Do something a little bit different. Yeah, so I walked to the supermarket, took the shopping bags. They're quite bulky, but it's okay when they're empty. And then my husband came along later after he'd been to the opticians. He picked some glasses. He's finding it, he's struggling to read. So he's got some reading glasses, but the optician said to him, this is number 50, the willow green. The optician said for him not to wear them all the time for reading because he'll become too reliant on them, which is interesting. So he said just use them some of the time. And he's got very focal reading glasses, so for the computer screen distance and for the for a book sort of thing. I think while we're zoomed in, we might as well do this little one. Sort of our next one along anyway. So he got 2 pairs in the end apparently. So one for keeping in his work bag and one for keeping at home. This is 24, which seemed like a good idea. Scarlet red. Going to do the centres of the petals, but we're going to use another shade after. So and he's also got some for driving, which that bit hadn't changed. He was okay with that, so that was good. And I've got to go soon, so I think I definitely need a new prescription. This is number 4, which is orange. So I'm going over what I've done and then just fading to the tip. Makes it, I feel it makes the blend look better. The colour difference isn't so harsh. But yes, I was doing a lot this morning, and I just sat down now, I sat down a little bit earlier and I had some other editing and stuff to do. But now I can sit down and colour, which is lovely. Now I'm going to use the number 11, the sand, for the centre. I'm going to keep it quite plain, just pop it in. I don't know why, there's not a lot of space, so I think it's okay just plain. Now for the stem, I'm going to go for this one. This is the number 57, which is our olive green. Now the stem goes right down to the bottom here. Pretty sure that's this stem, can't really be anything else. Then we have these leaves. See them dark at the bottom and lighter towards the tip. There we go. Right, now where are we? We've got this one next. I'm thinking let's go for pink. This looks like heart shapes, doesn't it? So I rather like this colour, pink, which is the number 25. It is called, according to my list, it's called pastel. I've got another list which would call it something else, just pink. So I'm a bit confused about that. This list of colour names I've got stuck inside my tin slightly varies from the one I've got on for the design journey, and yet the numbers are the same. For example, the tobacco brown is called sepia, so it's a little bit confusing. I'm going to try and make the bits where they're touching a little bit darker just by layering up a little bit more. That's what these pencils are good for. There we go. And then working through. It's a really relaxing one because they're all the same. Once you've decided how you do how you're doing the first bit, you don't need to think. Which is very nice. I can hear my dryer downstairs. It's got the sheets in it. Hopefully they'll dry soon. I've got another pile of things waiting to go in. Oh. But it's not very exciting, is it? It's like we all do washing and cleaning. Yes. I did used to have a cleaner. She's lovely. She had a couple of different cleaning ladies actually, but in the end I had a really good one, and she gave up her job and I couldn't find a good one after that. Now this is confusing. I'm just going to end it there and then bring in some green for the bottom, which we have for the bottom. Yeah, we'll use a different one. I can mix it up. Number 5, it's just a green. So I'm going to put a fairly solid line down the middle. You don't have to go out the lines. And then the same technique again. Now with the Staedtlers, you haven't got a huge range of colour, but you can mix colours up to make new colours, and that's something I used to do a lot when I first started colouring, because I had a 24 set of Staedtler Ergosofts and that was pretty much it. And then I did get a few polychromos and then eventually the whole lot, and then that was that. I sort of stopped needing to because I had most of the colours that I need. But you can still, it gives you a bit more of a range of colour, you know, and you can just play around with them on, now these layer up nicely, so you can put layer over layer over layer and you'll get different colours. You can play around on scrap paper, rough paper, whatever you call it. Scrap paper is probably a better description of what I mean. Yeah, you will have to do lighter layers though if you want to mix them up. If you do a really hard layer, then you won't see anything else. Yeah. So it's a good idea to be quite gentle. There we go. There's that flower. I'm just going to slightly darken the middle bit, just so you can see that is supposed to be darker. There we go. I'm just wondering if that bit should be green. I think it should. And I was going to add a second green. Did I do it? I didn't. Oh dear. I don't know if it needs a second green. This is 52. There we go. I don't know if that was even the right colour. Right, let's move on quickly and pretend that it's all fine. So we've got this rather large looking flower head now. Now we haven't used blue yet, so I'm thinking maybe we should use a blue, and I'm thinking perhaps the centre part might be a little bit darker than the petal, so we could use a blue for the centre and then a different blue for the petals. So I've grabbed my very darkest blue, which is 33, it's the cobalt blue, and I'm going to go over the whole of it quite lightly with it first. And then I want to make it darker at the bottom. There'd be more shadow down here, so it would be just naturally darker, and then lighter up here. You don't have to do each little one separately. We will in a minute, and when we do the smaller bits inside, possibly. But yeah, in here you want to go, hold the page down, darker at the bottom. It's a little bit small, it's a little bit fiddly. If it's too difficult to see or to do accurately, then don't worry. Just block it in. But I'm hoping by doing this you can see each little one looks a bit more texture in there. Okay, now what colour? I don't want to go too pale too quickly with our petals, so I'm going to use 63, which is the Delft blue. Just give it a sharpen and use this here. I think it's a similar-ish colour and it isn't our palest. I'm just going to layer it up more at the centre and do less towards the edge. So I'm going to go back in and just darken that up a little bit. There we go. Then we do the same with the next one. My son's just started streaming, I can hear him. So that's good. He couldn't do it yesterday because we had a power cut. It was quite interesting because he's got a friend who watches his streams, who is American. He said to him, "Well, don't you have a power generator you can just switch over to?" I was like, "No." And this boy said, "Oh, we have one. It's when we get power cuts and things, and we just switch over to it." And that's sounds very sensible, but we don't have them that often or for that long. I mean, it lasted for about an hour and a half. So, you know, it was fine. It wasn't until, well, we had a bit of a problem later, but not that bad. But it was fine. And we just, I did some colouring. It was quite interesting, colouring in the dark-ish. It was the middle of the afternoon, so it wasn't pitch black, but I'm used to having a lamp. So I had to do some tweaking once the lights came back on. But anyway, that was all fine. Yeah, so we had this 2-hour outage and it all seemed fine. The burglar alarm went off, which was quite interesting. We were just having lunch and we were moving around in the kitchen. I think it's the kitchen sensors that are the most sensitive ones. Anyway, but that was fine. I could turn that off. Didn't matter. And so it was all good. And I just made a hot drink, so it was good timing really. And then a couple of neighbours came over to see if we'd lost power as well as them and all that, so that was all fine. It was quite jolly, to be honest. I just really want to get it darker in here, so I'm going to layer over it again. Maybe up to this dotted line. Maybe that's what it's for. But last night I woke up in the night, 3 AM, and the heating was on. And I was like, what's going on? Why is it on? Maybe it's to do with the power cut. So I wandered off downstairs, looked at the thermostat, and it said it was off. I was like, oh, okay, the heating's off. I was half asleep. I want to make these a bit neater, so I'm going to use the lighter blue to do that, because I don't want to add any more of the darker blue or else it'll look too dark. So this is number 30, which is the light blue. So I went back to bed, and then when I woke up this morning, the heating wasn't on. And it should come on before I get up. I was like, huh? So I went down and had a look at the thermostat again. Now the thermostat is powered by battery only. Okay. Looked at the thermostat and it said it thought it was 3:15 in the morning. So what had happened was somehow in the power cut the thermostat had stopped or something and the time had got all wrong. So anyway, I reset the time and then I waited a bit for the house to warm up before having my shower, and that made me even later this morning. but never mind. I feel like I've caught up now. Now we have a little bud here, look. So I'm thinking it's going to be this colour, not the centre colour, because we can't see the centre. So I'm going to go back to this number 63, our Delft blue, and now I'm just going, I think those bits are leaves and these bits are petals. That's my thought. You don't have to do it the same way if you disagree with me. But I'm going to just make it darker toward the tip. I don't think I need my lighter one for this, it's such a small space. I think I can make it work without. There we go. And now we need to think of a colour for the stem. Now, I'm going to use this one. This is 50, which is the willow green. It's not one I would naturally pair with blue, but I think it'll work. I would usually put a bluey green with blue, but I haven't used this one yet, and I've used all the other greens. Oh, not quite, but it's the one of the two that I haven't used that matches best, and I think it's fine. And I don't know whether with plants do their leaves and the flowers match. I don't really think so. So I don't think it's that crucial. I'm using the same technique, darker at the bottom, lighter at the tip. Oh, I've just remembered, it is actually today. I'm recording this early, so it's actually the 12th. I was just thinking Johanna's colouring school starts tomorrow. That's going to be fun. I don't usually colour along with her, I have to say. But I just like to hear her talk and see her ideas and what she's colouring and how, really. I find it, I don't colour along with her because she doesn't always finish a page or that sort of thing, I don't know. Anyway, but it doesn't matter, I enjoy watching her a lot. Maybe you don't all colour along with me either. I'm sure you don't with everything. So that's all fine, it doesn't matter. Let's keep going. This one, because of its paleness, trying to make it more intense is quite tricky. It doesn't really look that much darker, say here, if I put a lot of layers down. It doesn't look that much darker, so don't worry too much about it. Oh, sorry. Just put down a nice amount of colour and enjoy. There we go. So there's that one. Now next, oh, let's just put that one away. Seeing how long I've been half an hour already. I didn't think this would take quite that long. Anyway, we'll do another one. I'm thinking this is our next one, this one. What should we use? I think we haven't really used a bright red yet. So let's use this. This is number 29, which is actually, I think is it called Carmine Red? I think it's the nicest, sort of most reddy red. I'm not making any sense. Whereas for me, a carmine is usually a bit pinker than that. But I think it's a nice colour. Just not so sure about the name, but then we get that with all brands, don't we? Some of the names. I mean, it's interesting out with Black Widow. They've just gone with random names that don't mean anything, and some people find that quite annoying because they like to know what the hue is of the colour, what to expect. And when you've got a name like Grub Green, it could be any colour really, couldn't it? So that can be frustrating, but I just think they're a bit of fun. And you can swatch your page, and you swatch your colours anyway and know what you're getting if you want to do that, or just look at them, or just play with them and don't worry too much. It depends what I'm colouring, really, whether I want something that looks realistic or whether I'm just not too bothered. You know, it sort of depends what I'm doing. tend not to make flowers very realistic, but it depends whose they are actually. Some people draw them in a much more realistic way than Johanna does, but I like the freedom that we have with Johanna's, that we can choose how to colour them. You know, there's obviously no rules in any colouring book, but sometimes if they're coloured in a specific way. I'm going to use this 56, which is the what is this? It's called light olive. That's right. I knew it was light something. I couldn't remember. I know you can colour any book how you want to, but sometimes some illustrators will put a name of what it is next to it, so you know, and then you want to colour it those colours, which some people really like. Sometimes I really want to do that, and sometimes I really don't. So it just depends on my mood, and then I can pick the appropriate picture or page or book. You know, now I've got to work out where this stem is going. So it goes down here. I think it just goes down here and through there. Yeah, I think that's it. And we can do this one next. Now, what have we got that we haven't? We've done red there, so we haven't done yellow. Do it yellow. This is number 1, which is the yellow. I'm not going to do different shades. I'm just going to get some yellow down. I am going to try and make it a little bit darker at the bottom, if I can. Now, I find yellow really difficult to see. I don't know if it's me or if everyone finds it, but I find there's such a glare off the paper, and it's so similar to white that I can't see if I've missed any. But I hope that's okay. Now we've got a little bit of leaf and sort of grassy type thing going on. I am going to grab the 56, I think, for this one. Sorry, 57, olive green. Don't want the 56, we used it there. But this, I think, is significantly different to the light olive. But it's quite a nice colour with the yellow. It's not too overpowering. I think a really dark green would be a bit too much. So yes, I went out shopping and I decided I wanted to go along the canal path again. It was so pretty yesterday in the sunshine. It wasn't quite so pretty today. I wore my wellies. It was very squelchy, muddy, wet, and yeah, it's still, the autumnal colour is still there, but without the, when it's wet. I was sort of watching my feet a bit more as well, because I didn't want to do anything silly like slip over. Right, we've got another one now. I was quite tempted to do this orange, but that one is orange and it looks quite similar, so let's not. Let's do something a little bit different. Could do a dark blue. We've got this blue. This is number 3, which I think is just blue. Yeah, it's just blue. And yeah, do it the same way. A bit darker in the centre and lighter to the tip. I don't think I'm going to need a second colour. I think I can just put a lighter bit on here and it'll work. You can try, if you find this difficult, you could try whiting, putting some white pencil on the edges to lighten it. I actually find that more difficult than fading, or than, you know, doing more layers and less layers. But it's all about just finding a technique that suits you, really. But it's just, yeah, practice, but having fun as well, I think. You know, we're learning all the time, but it's important to have fun. I think particularly at the moment with things going on in the world, it's doesn't always feel like a happy place to be. But if we can just sit and enjoy a moment, why not? You know, most of the time worrying gets us nowhere. It doesn't achieve anything. So it's much better to sit and be creative, I think. And sometimes I get interesting and useful thoughts come into my head. Other times it just allows me some peace and quiet, which is often needed. Now the centre of this one I'd again quite like to do yellow. We've got a yellow flower here, so I'm thinking maybe that's not quite the right idea, so I'll go for a gold instead. This is the 16, which is our golden ochre, and I think it will go very nicely actually with a deep blue. There we go. And now we've got our stalk, stem, whatever we call it. We've all got different names. And I'm going to use the number 5, just the green. It's very narrow here. I'm going to sharpen it. I'm actually going to count how many I've done and how many are left, because I'm thinking we're getting to about the time when I would normally stop, and we haven't done lots, so I'll have a look in a minute. I can't count and colour at the same time, quite difficult. Trying to fade towards the tip of these leaves. Yeah, I've got to keep an eye on the time as well because I've got Skype later with my family. Right, so we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 left. Okay, we'll do one more then. We'll do this big one, and then we'll call it a day and do the rest in the second video, I think. I'm thinking orange now, maybe orange with yellow, so a lighter orange. So I've got this 42, which is our light orange, and I'm going to start with that. I'm going to ignore the centre, just going to do the petals to start with. And then we'll I want to put a bit of yellow on the tips, but I want to also get them a bit orangey, so I'm just layering up a bit in the middle there. Oh, I also need to say welcome to all my new subscribers. I've had a big influx of subscribers since I did my Small Victories flip through. I've had lots of new people, and so welcome to the channel, and I hope you're enjoying it. It's just very laid back and relaxed here. The idea is to hopefully maybe learn a little bit, but just to, you know, encourage you to colour really. Pick up your pencils and pens, or whatever you use, and just have a little go, you know, and enjoy the relaxation of the whole process. It's always been my aim for the channel, is partly to help people learn, but also the sort of relaxation side, because actually the story of why I started the channel, some of you will know, is that I actually did a colouring course, an online course, and I found it very disappointing. It didn't cover the things that I wanted. There's a lot of drawing in it. It was called a colouring course, but half of it was you had to draw the thing first and then colour it, and I wasn't interested in drawing. And then they just used a very small selection of watercolour pencils to colour, and I was just basically very disappointed. And the camera angle was so far away that I couldn't see what the person was doing at all. The piece of paper was much bigger than this page, and you could just see the whole page all the time, and so you couldn't see what was happening. So I was like, this isn't good. I think I could do better. And so, and I wasn't being funny, I just thought for me that isn't what I wanted, so I think I could produce something that I would like and hopefully other people might like as well. So I'm just choosing my yellow. I think I'm going to use this one. This is the one we used before, the one, just the yellow. So I started making a few videos, and I just really enjoyed it, and it felt like other people were as well, so I just kept going and going and going. So that was and my son, well, both my boys at that time were doing making their own videos for Minecraft games, Now they don't, one of them, he does live streaming instead because he used to find the editing so difficult. So that was interesting. It used to take him so long to edit, and he doesn't really have that time to do that. The centre of the flower I want to do with this colour. This is 73, it's the burnt sienna. But it just sort of grew really, and people seemed to like what I was doing, so I just kept going, and I enjoy it, which is obviously important. Well, it is, I think. I think it shows if you're not enjoying it, you know. There we go. Now really, there would be some shadow under these on the petals, but hopefully because I've coloured that a bit darker, it looks like that might be what's going on. I don't want to draw in shadow. I think it's just going to make the whole thing look too dark. So I'm going to leave that as it is. But now we need to do the leaves. Number 52. Whoops, I'm going to use, I think, this is the sap green. I think that's not what I used for the last one. I hope not anyway. But maybe it would look more realistic if there were two the same next to each other, rather than making them all really different. I don't know. I sort of haven't coloured lots of flowers lately, because I think Johanna's last couple of books haven't been massively floral. We've had sort of lots of buildings and rooms and objects and things, and so I feel a bit out of practice doing flowers. But I'm having a lot of fun with her new book. I'm getting back into doing flowers again. I want it a bit darker there. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. What's exciting is she's working on her next full-size book, so that's exciting. I don't know, I was watching her live. Now I don't know if she was, whether it was her Emily Illustrator colour along, her Suzanne Wimpney Berry, or just her own, but she was saying how she's just changed the name of her next book because her daughter Evie didn't like the name. And she shared a picture of the sort of title page, and in a colouring group someone said, I can see the letters, because she'd covered over the name of the book, and she's not allowed to reveal it too early, but she hadn't covered it up perfectly, and people could see that the first word began with M and ended with L, and the second one began with W and ended with S, so thinking it's sort of magical worlds or mystical worlds or something like along that sort of. But she had said she's changed her name, so I wonder if, because her daughter said all her books the names was very similar. Now for me that would be quite a similar name, not that it matters to me. I think that's, the names don't really matter, do they? But so I, oops, sorry, wrong way. So I'm assuming that that is the old name, not the new name. So that's as far as we've got today. It doesn't feel like we've done very much of the page looking at it now, but you know, been going for a long time. So we're going to leave that for now, and that will give you plenty to do. And if you haven't coloured along, then you'll have to get back and have a go. And tomorrow I shall come back and do probably the rest of the page. Yeah, because I'm thinking my background idea is very simple, so it will only take a couple of minutes. But yes, that's me for today. So thank you very much for watching. Please do like, subscribe, comment, all those things. It's lovely to see you doing that. But yes, have a lovely day. Thank you very much, and happy colouring.